what can I do for you? Most of the time I got, well, I needed to vent. That I really don't need anything. I said, I understand. I have to vent sometimes too. So it was a real easy going type situation. I didn't have any issues. And I found most of the time when you talk to the homeowners, they wanted to talk to somebody who wanted to listen or who was willing to listen to them and represented the government to them. Senators and House of Representative people, they never give you any personal time. So I served that kind of, not for a center or anything, but for the city. They had somebody to talk to, and they liked that. And most of the time, they wanted to vent about something. But if there's something I could do for them, I definitely would do it. Customer service was a little bit different back then. We were involved in everything. Mainly drainage, because the first 3 years we didn't care anything about drainage. Then as things got building more and more, all of a sudden drainage became a major issue, and we had to start looking drainage surveys and other things that was coming along. We no longer measured foundations by string line. Had to have farm board surveys, so as things gathered and went, it got better, but it also got more complicated. But the biggest thing I learned was the fact that be willing to listen. When you listen, be able to talk back what they're saying to you. Of course, as I got older, the hearing part got worse. And sometimes I say, really? You really having a problem with that? No, that's not what I'm having a problem with. I've said this and this. So I finally got smart and got some hearing aids. Not that it did a whole lot of good, but it helped some. I also found that, like I said before, when you're out there working with people and they're upset, it's nothing personal. You got to remember, these builders, like we have 25, 30 stops, they have 20, 25, 30 houses that they're dealing with. A lot of times they're told to call stuff in anyway. We get frustrated, but you got to remember, these are our customers. Without these people, you don't have a job. You do not have a job without these people. You got to keep that in mind, because they are your bread and butter, and they always have issues and questions, and be willing, but don't take anything personal. Now, when they start, if you get a builder or contractor cussing at you, the thing you got to do is turn around, walk off, and call the boss and say, here's what's happened, but here's the other thing. Always keep your supervisor in the know. If he doesn't know what's going on, he can't help you. And if you're having a problem with the builder, you really want him on your side. So keep him informed. Because if I get a phone call, for instance, and I hadn't heard a word from you, and somebody's telling me you did this, 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 and this, then my question is, okay, I'll find out what I can, then I call whoever and say, hey, what happened? Can you tell me about such and such? So always keep that in mind. Don't accept the first comments. Ask questions. Always ask questions. Be willing to ask questions. Because without that, you're not going to be able to do anything. Yes,
well, I got a question for you, Jay. I know you got a lot of experience, and that's really helped a lot of us here. You brought us up, in the trade and all that good stuff. But how do you feel, or what advice would you give us on makeshift elevators?
Do what now?
What advice would you give us on a makeshift elevator?
On a makeshift holiday?
Elevator.
One very important thing. If you get on a lift or you get in an elevator, make very sure it says Otis, Westinghouse, GE, or something of that nature. Do not ever get on something that's homemade. Stay off of it.
And then one more question.
Let me tell you, one slip of safety will go with you, can go with you for the rest of your life. I made the mistake of getting on a lift that had no name. Cable broke. I went to the ground. I was out of work for 6 months, and I've had issues ever since. I always will have issues. So, always safety. Always safety. It's not only safety for yourself, but it's also safety for people that come behind you. That's why it's so important everything be safe, and what we look at, we maintain it safe.
One other question, Jake. How many times did you want to kick Doug's butt?
How many times I said I wanted to gut you?
A lot. In the daily basis.
Let me tell you something. Doug and I, when things are going on, we get together a lot and talk about it. If we have issues going on, we talk. That's why supervisors have to talk among themselves to make sure everything's going good with you. Just like you need to talk to your supervisor and you need to talk to each other. If you're not talking to each other and each of you's going your own way, it's going to cause problems down the road. That's like Rigo saying the electrical panel doesn't have to have a certain type of bonding. And then you got Marcus says, oh yeah, you do. That's why it's so important that you get everything together, and then all these classes we have, that everybody's on the same page. And you can't pick what you like aside from what you're taught in class. That class is so important to get everybody on the same page. If you keep going your own way, then you get phone calls from this one and that one saying so-and-so's calling you this way, so-and-so's doing this way, so-and-so's doing it that way. And you'll never have that full cohesion you need as a group. Because if you're all doing it the same, nobody's can come back at you. It's just like if I don't like what Rigo says, I'm going to call Rudy. See if he gives me the answer I want. If Rudy doesn't give it to me, I'm going to call Marcus. If Marcus doesn't give it to me, I'm going to call Oscar.
Oscar don't know.
Until somebody says, oh yeah, you can do that. And let me tell you, 99.9% of the time, if they're calling you, asking you to do it, they already know the answer. 99% of the time, it's no, because it's against code. That's also why it's so important to know the code. So important. If you don't know, say, I'll call you back as soon as I get an answer. And make sure you call them back. I guess that's about all
I can say
got.